I sacrificed 12 years of my life on the altar of constant availability, and it nearly destroyed me. My health collapsed, my relationships crumbled, and I lost myself completely. And if you don't change course, you're headed for the same breakdown. I thought being available 24/7 would make me irreplaceable. That never saying no, answering texts at 2 a.m., canceling my plans for others' emergencies, that this perpetual sacrifice would earn me respect, success, and loyalty. That my willingness to drop everything would be recognized as dedication, not desperation. But I was wrong. Because I wasn't building value, I was training people to value me less. And if you don't understand this now, you're going to wake up one day wondering where the last 5, 10, 20 years of your life went, and why, despite giving yourself to everyone else, you still feel hollow, exhausted, resentful, like you're trapped on a hamster wheel that never stops, serving everyone's needs but your own, watching your own dreams collect dust in the corner. So what actually matters? It's not being there for everyone. It's not sacrificing your boundaries until there's nothing left of you. It's who you're available to, and more importantly, who you're unavailable to. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your boundaries, not by how many people have access to your time, energy, and attention, not by how quickly you respond to messages, not by how many fires you put out for others while your own life burns down around you. There is this quote by Warren Buffett. It goes, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." He understood what took me over a decade of burnout to learn. Most people think being constantly available makes them valuable, but it doesn't. It makes them common, disposable, replaceable. If your days are filled with constant interruptions, always saying yes, always being the person everyone can count on, regardless of the cost to yourself, you're building a life where you're seen as a resource, not as a person. You're training people to see your time as less valuable than theirs. You're showing the world that your priorities, dreams, and needs come last. And eventually that becomes your reality. Your availability becomes your identity. Your worth becomes tied to your utility to others. Your value becomes measured by how quickly you respond, how easily you accommodate, how willingly you sacrifice. But if you spend most days being intentional about your availability, saying no to what doesn't serve you, creating space for what matters, and being deliberately unavailable to distractions, you build something different. You build a life where your time has value, where people respect your boundaries because you respect them first, where what you accomplish matters more than how available you were while doing it. Your unavailability becomes a statement. My time has value. My energy has limits. My attention is precious. And when that message is clear, everything changes. Your relationships transform, your productivity multiplies, your self-respect solidifies, because you don't just stumble into a respected, purposeful life. You build it, one boundary at a time, one no at a time, one moment of choosing yourself at a time. And the biggest mistake you can make? Continuing to be available to everyone, waiting for permission to prioritize yourself, waiting until you've helped everyone else before focusing on your goals, waiting until people stop needing you before you start setting boundaries, waiting until you're completely burned out before you realize something needs to change. I hear these excuses every day. I don't want to disappoint anyone. If I'm not available, they'll find someone else. I can't say no. What will people think? They depend on me. It's faster if I just do it myself. I'm afraid of missing out. It's selfish to put myself first. These thoughts kept me trapped for years. They sound responsible, virtuous even, but they're not. The truth is, playing it safe by remaining endlessly available is actually one of the biggest risks you can take in life. Because while you're busy being available to everyone else, your dreams, your health, and your true potential remain unavailable to you. I learned this lesson the hard way when my doctor told me my constant stress was causing heart palpitations. My body was literally breaking down from being perpetually on call for everyone else. Ask yourself, what's your constant availability costing you right now? What opportunities are passing you by while you're busy responding to other people's urgencies? What parts of yourself are you neglecting while you attend to everyone else? Most people don't realize they're sacrificing their most precious resource, time, until they have very little of it left. Every time you say yes to someone else's priorities, you're saying no to your own. Every time you allow an interruption, you're allowing the disruption of your focus, your progress, your peace. Every notification you respond to, every quick favor you agree to, every boundary you let someone cross, every time you answer work emails at 10 p.m. These aren't small decisions. They're life decisions. They're deciding how your limited time on this planet will be spent and who it will be spent serving. Let me share exactly how to reclaim this time, and I will do this in just a moment. But first, I want you to understand what's really at stake here. Think about what you're losing through constant availability, the deep work that never gets done, the creative insights that never have space to emerge, the relationships that never grow deeper because you're spread too thin, the business you never start, the book you never write, the health you never prioritize. Did you know the average person checks their phone 96 times a day? That's once every 10 minutes of waking life. By the time you're 60, you'll have spent nearly 9 years of your life just looking at your phone. 9 years of being available to whatever pops up on that screen. And unlike money or connections or almost anything else in life, time is the one thing you can never get back. Once it's gone forever. When I was trapped in the availability cycle, it took a wake-up call from my doctor to see what was happening. But I'm curious about your experience with this. What's the biggest way constant availability has impacted your life? Has anyone else noticed that the moment you started protecting your time, things began to shift? Share your story in the comments, because what you've learned might be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now. Now let's talk about what happens if you don't make this change. So, what's it gonna be? Are you gonna keep being available to everyone? Keep putting yourself last? Keep letting other people's emergencies become your priorities? Keep wondering why you're exhausted all the time? Or are you going to reclaim your time, your energy, your life? I'm going to give you a practical system for setting these boundaries in just a minute. But first, let's get real about what happens if you don't make this choice. The moment I realized I'd spent the majority of my adult life serving everyone else's agendas was the moment I understood why I felt so empty, so unfulfilled, so resentful. I was letting everyone else write the story of my life. Because if you don't set boundaries around your availability, the world will set them for you. Your boss will determine how you spend your evenings. Social media will determine how you spend your mornings. Other people's expectations will determine how you spend your weekends. Your phone will determine how you spend the small moments in between. Every notification is someone else deciding what deserves your attention right now. Every urgent request is someone else deciding what deserves your energy right now. Every interruption is someone else deciding what deserves your focus right now. And in 5 years, you'll either be the person who took back control, who became unavailable to distraction and available to purpose, or you'll be the person who's still wondering why they feel so depleted despite giving so much to everyone else. You'll either be the person who protected their dreams fiercely, or the person who helped everyone else achieve theirs while yours withered. You'll either be the person who values their time enough to guard it, or the person who lets others decide how your life unfolds, one interruption at a time. But how do I actually start becoming less available, you might be asking? Before I share the exact system that helped me break free, I want to be honest with you. This won't be easy at first. This transition isn't easy. When I first started setting boundaries, I felt physically ill from the guilt. I'd break out in a cold sweat when my phone rang and I didn't answer it. I'd lie awake worrying I'd disappointed someone, but I promise you, this feeling passes, and what replaces it is worth every uncomfortable moment. Start with small, daily acts of unavailability. Turn your phone off completely for the first hour after waking up. Batch process emails and messages twice a day instead of constantly checking. Create focus blocks on your calendar where you're completely unavailable. Set up an autoresponder that sets expectations about your response time. Delete social media apps from your phone for specific days. Practice saying, "I'll need to check my schedule and get back to you," instead of immediately saying yes. When you first start setting these boundaries, people will push back. They've grown accustomed to your constant availability. Some might get angry. Others will try to make you feel guilty. A few might even try to manipulate you into returning to your old patterns. This is normal. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you're doing something right. People don't resist weak boundaries. They resist strong ones. Don't measure success by how many people you please today. Measure it by how aligned your time was with your priorities. Did you protect your creative hours? Did you say no to something that would have drained you? Did you create uninterrupted space for what truly matters? Consistency comes from systems, not willpower. Put your phone in another room when working. Use automated responses during focus hours. Tell people when you'll be available instead of always being available. And most importantly, Don't apologize for taking control of your time. A no is a complete sentence. You don't need to explain, justify, or defend your unavailability. You simply need to practice it. When I look back at who I was before I stopped being available to everyone, constantly exhausted, resentful, and watching my life pass by while I handled other people's priorities, I barely recognize that person. The transformation that happens when you reclaim your time is profound. It's not just about having more hours in the day. It's about remembering who you are when you're not serving everyone else. It's about discovering what you're capable of when your energy isn't constantly drained. Your availability is your choice. Your boundaries are your responsibility. Your life is waiting for you to claim it. Start now.